What's good, y'all? It's your girl Kayla, and we are back with yet another video. Y'all already know, if you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. I appreciate every single one of y'all who tune into these videos each and every week. I love it. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you. If you have not done so already, y'all, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every week when I upload. And let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. So this is a continuation of last week. Like, this is part 2, okay? Single mom by choice versus choice mom, and the assumptions that we get, okay? So there are a lot of comments under the video that I was telling y'all about, where they were calling us choice moms, and people had a lot to say. Thankfully, there are a lot of people who had positive things to say, but there were still a ton of people that were really comfortable with being naysayers and spewing their opinions and false information. And I've seen these comments on other videos, and I have gotten these comments myself. So I'm just responding to these comments. Some of them are questions, but not really like, I get these questions, but they're not really questions, okay? They're more so like assumptions, and it's not really leaving room for me to explain to people. So I'm going and I'm just working through this list of things that people have told me, what they assume, what people have told me. And this is just our opportunity to really answer that and inform these people that are either uninformed or misinformed or choose to just ignore the information provided to them. So let's start. First thing that I get the absolute most is when people find out that I'm trying to conceive, they always look to see if I have a ring on. Now, y'all see in most of my videos, I do have a ring on. I am not married. I am very happily single. That ring is a ring that I bought myself because it was pretty, and it was to congratulate myself to getting into my master's program and just the new chapters and new beginnings that I had. So that is my ring that I bought myself. I wanted a ring, so I got a ring. And it just so happens to fit perfectly on the hand that I don't use as much. My left hand is not as dominant because I'm a righty. So people always want to assume that I'm married, and they're like, oh, so your husband this or your husband that. And I'm just like, no, boo-boo, I'm single. I'm doing it by myself. And there's such negative connotation with that. And then you hear, oh, you're using a sperm donor. And for some reason, that hits different. Some people still have flack to say, and I'll get to that second half. But when they hear that I'm using a sperm donor, they're like, oh, wow, I wish I could do that. That's so brave. XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny to me because it's just like, now, if I were to say that I was trying to get pregnant without a sperm donor and I wasn't married, I wonder where that conversation was going to go. But I don't push it because life is already hard enough with or without the drama. And the next one that I get is kids need to have a father. And this kind of touches on last week where it's like, oh, it's so selfish. Kids need to have a father. First off, no, they don't. They really don't. You don't need a father. You don't need a mother. What you need is a stable and healthy home environment where you have one caretaker who loves you and supports you and is dedicated to enriching you and teaching you. You need that sense of security. Trust me, okay? I'm in grad school for a reason. I'm going into therapy for a reason. I have plenty of people that I have met, and I've had several clients where everybody is talking about their home lives. And I get to see the difference between when people grow up with both parents in the household, or with one parent in the household, or no parents in the household. I have met all of them. There's still some, variations that I have not met, but I have met many. And not only does life prove that you don't need a second parent in the household, but statistics, data also prove that you do not need that second parent in the household. You don't need a father in the household. Would it be nice to have a second parent? Yes, it would be great. Not only is that double the love and support and care and sometimes even finances, but that also means it's less work on me. It's not all on me. And that would be absolutely great. But no, kids do not need a father. I had a great relationship with my dad, and we were very best friends. And I wish my kids would be able to meet him. I wish they would even have a father of their own, whatever. But my life just does not work out like that. It did not work out like that. It is what it is. And I'm actually really happy because now I don't ever have to worry about the 52% chance, or is it 54% chance of my relationship, my marriage breaking up after I have kids, and now my kids have to experience a divorce and custody battles. My number one fear in life is custody battles. I will never put my kids through that. I never want to put my kids through that. And the beauty of being a single mom by choice means that not only do I know going in that it is all on me and I am the sole parent, I am the sole captain of this ship. I know that my chances of having to go through some sort of custody battle with a partner after a split up just got knocked down from here to much lower. I can sleep at night knowing that I don't ever have to have that worry and my kids don't have to experience that trauma. Never ever will I go through that. So that answers that assumption. The next one that I get is, that's going to be so hard. Don't you realize how hard that is? Don't you realize that you don't get any days off, that it is all on you and you really have to have this together and that together and XYZ? I get that so often from people, whether it's family members or people that I really just don't know like that. And it's just like, wow, I had no idea. It's so enlightening. Wow. Yes, I know. I knew this going in. I knew this from the time my doctor told me that my window went from being 10 plus years to just a handful of years. That's one of the very first thoughts that I had. And of course, it's hard. It's going to be rough. I get that it's all on me, but reminding me of that is not going to change anything. I battle with that on the regular, which is why I took the time for the year that I was deliberating and the year before I started trying to do as much to get my life in order as possible. It's one of the advantages that I get as being a SMBC versus a mom by other circumstance, because we're all moms by circumstance, but mom by other circumstance where you've lost your partner or your partner is no longer available. I know this before my child is even conceived versus them. They don't typically know this until after their child is conceived. They may know as soon as they find out that they're pregnant that their partner is not going to be there for this. They may find out mid-pregnancy. They may even find out after giving birth. That is a very abrupt shift in dynamic and future planning that you have to hustle and do a full crisis kind of intervention. Like, you have to immediately act to adjust for that. And not everybody is able to adjust for that. They've gone from, okay, we can do this with both of us in this, to it's all on me and I don't make enough for two people. Thankfully, I'm in a place where I was able to know this ahead of time, and I was able to prepare. Am I fully prepared? No. Am I prepared enough to where I'm not going to worry? Yeah. And that's all I really can do. Yeah, I'm going to be tired. Somebody even said to me, okay, so when you have this kid, you can't complain. You can't complain about being tired. You can't complain about, doing this all on your own. I surely the heck can, and I surely will. I'm going to still complain when I'm tired because I'm human. That doesn't take away your right. It just means you're going to be tired and you knew it ahead of time. Like, that was such a silly comment for me to get. It was just like, nah. So the next one that I got is, why don't you just freeze your eggs? Or, my favorite one, why don't you just pray about it? If you are spiritual, if you are religious, if you were religious, you probably get the, why don't you just pray about it, as a cop-out answer for so much. And it's one of the things, as much as I love my people, is one of the things that I truly hate. Because it's just like, I prayed about it. Nah, but you ain't pray about it because I'm not feeling rested in my spirit about your decision. It's a personal problem, not mine though. I hate getting that. It's just like, wow. And I get that so much. Did you pray about it? You must not have prayed about it. Because my answer was, yes, move forward with this. It's not like I jumped into this overnight. I had 2 years to pray on it. Signs still all point to yes. It just may be hard, but signs all still point to yes. So, and then freezing my eggs. Now, I will say, freezing your eggs, it's a wonderful idea, especially if you are just really that gung-ho about waiting for a partner. But 2 things for me. One, I'm not worried about my eggs as much as I'm worried about my kid's apartment that is inside my body, okay? I'm more concerned about my uterus, my cervix. I'm more concerned about that more than I am the actual eggs. Because if the eggs were the issue, I will just wait till I'm making 6 figures, whatever, and get somebody's embryos. Just find an egg donor or an embryo donor. There's that option. But it's more so I want to be able to carry. And that's my right. That's a right that should never be debated. And if you just immediately feel the need to debate that and you just feel this driving force like, no, you really need to go off and pray about it. Because that's a personal issue that you're trying to push onto somebody else. And that's not cool. And I hate when I get these comments. I hate when I see these comments. And it's just like, it's so inappropriate. All this is really inappropriate. And this video is really calling that out. But it's so inappropriate and it's misplaced. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to get on a whole soapbox about, we're not going to go there. But freezing my eggs is not going to solve my issue, okay? The scar tissue that I have building up from my endometriosis is not going to, stop growing. It's not going to stop spreading just because I froze my eggs. And it's still going to affect my uterus. It's still going to affect the organs outside of my cervix. It's still going to make these effects. It's still going to affect my fallopian tubes as they are now. Sorry. For some reason my throat is dry. It's a hot day. But it's still going to, affect my fallopian tubes like they did before. Y'all, if you haven't seen it, This time last year, I believe it was like the end of June actually, I had my hysterosalpingogram, aka the HSG test that everybody is afraid of and fears. And it was the most emotional appointment I had because I was afraid of the pain and there was no pain. It was a lot of pressure because she ended up forcing open my right tube that had closed, and that is not always a guarantee. They're not always able to open up that tube, but she put in so much dye that she was able to reopen my right tube. And my left tube was already open, but it showed us that my right tube was closed. And that, yes, it does make sense for me to try now instead of waiting, because that can reclose. Both of them can close, you know? So, freezing my eggs, like I said, it's not going to change that. That's not the issue here. For some people, that is the issue. But that's not the issue here. You got to look at, the health of your uterus, the health of your cervix, the health of your overall body, your bones, because this baby is going to suck a lot of nutrients out of you. You got to look at that health. If freezing my eggs were the solution, I would have just went with that. But it's not the solution. Next, why not get a surrogate? Or people offering to be my surrogate. I've had people offer to be my surrogate. I have had people offer me their partners as a sperm donor. I have had people offer me, they're like, instead of me aborting this next baby, I'll just give it to you. I kid you not, I have had all these happen. And I appreciate the kind gesture, especially the last one. I was just like, that would solve so much. But I do want to be able to experience, pregnancy, giving birth to a biological child. Yes, I would love to adopt, and I still will. I still plan to adopt kids later on down the road and do foster care. That will always be a passion of mine, but I know for me, I really do want to experience that part of motherhood that comes with giving birth to your own biological child, not just, adoptive child, because you're still going to love them just as much, but you're not giving birth to them, so you still don't get that experience. And for some people, that's like, heck yeah, it's a win-win. I don't ever have to deal with pregnancy or morning sickness. I don't have to deal with sharing my body with somebody. I for sure don't have to worry about episiotomies or tearing or labor pains. Cool. But for some reason, my psychotic behind wants to experience that. So, I am, and I want both. So that's why, I don't want to get a surrogate. If I absolutely have to, I would consider it, but I don't think I would be happy if I did not at least try to get pregnant. At least, give myself a fighting chance, put up a fight, That's just me. The next one. Now, this one is so hilarious to me. People keep on asking me, am I using the same donor? Am I going to use a different donor when I do my next IUIs? So, and then when I go to have more kids, because I do plan to have at least 2 or 3 biological kids, am I going to use the same donor? Am I going to at least try to use the same donor? Or am I going to get different donors every single time and just, do the little mix thing where, one's this ethnicity, one's that ethnicity, another ethnicity, am I going to mix and match? And I thought that was so hilarious. It was weird and kind of rude, but it was also funny on one level, because I'm just like, these aren't Pokemon. I'm not collecting donors like Pokemon. like, no. I am trying to use the same donor. Now, the only thing that would stop me is, say I have like another miscarriage or something, which I'm praying that I do not. Um, if I still have complications, I will reconsider my donor and see if maybe going with a different donor will remedy the situation. So I'll give it 3 chances. If it does not work, I will look into getting a different donor. But y'all know I have been through so many donors because of one thing or another. Usually they're sold out, or they have some sort of issue with their vials, something goes wrong with the donor. And so my goal is to use the same donor for each child, um, which is also why I want to buy up vials, and store them. I'm not going to buy out all the vials, but I would like to have enough for me to try for 2 more kids. So a nice little small amount, like maybe 5 or 6, which I know it's a lot, but if they tell you to buy about 3 vials with each try for getting pregnant, I figure, 5 or 6 should be enough for 2 more kids. And then because of the way most sperm banks are, my plan is just to have them stored with my sperm bank and just pay the storage fees. That way, if anything happens, or I just, I have all my kids and I have vials left over, I can always sell the vials back to the sperm bank. And they might buy them, they may not. If they don't buy them, hey, maybe I'll try for another one. I like a big family anyways. But there's that. So no, I don't plan on having like 10 million sperm donors. If it happens, I guess it happens, but that is not my plan. That is not my goal. But that was hilarious. I don't know if y'all have gotten that before or not, but yeah, that is all I have thus far. It's funny. So if y'all, that last one was funny to me, but y'all let me know what you think. What are some of the things that people have said to you? Some assumptions that you've heard about single moms by choice, or some things people ask you, or questions that you may have had. Maybe you're not even like a single mom by choice, maybe you're not even planning on having kids this way or having kids at all, but you're just curious. Let me know down in the comment box down below. I would absolutely love to do this again. This video was so much fun for me. And yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead, comment down below, please. I really appreciate it. And subscribe. I will see y'all next week.